I knew things were going to be different the moment I started at my new school. I had been born and raised in Philly, and moving just an hour away from the city felt like being dropped into a whole different world. Everything felt slower, quieter, more reserved. Back in Philly, people knew me, respected me. Here, I was just another kid trying to figure out where I fit. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and keep watching, because the best part's coming up next. But life has a strange way of shaping you. I adapted, made friends, and carried the Philly edge with me wherever I went. That edge stuck with me when I grew older. I wasn't book smart like some of the guys I knew, but I was street smart. I knew how to hustle, how to read people, and how to stay one step ahead. Eventually, I got a steady job. Nothing glamorous, but it paid the bills. And then I met Marcy. She was beautiful, funny, and had this fire in her eyes that I couldn't ignore. We started dating, and before long, we were married. We had 2 kids together, a boy and a girl. And for years I thought we were building something solid. But life, real life, has a way of showing cracks in the foundation you thought was unshakable. Marcy started working for a company downtown. At first I was proud of her. She wanted to help out with the bills, and I admired that. But soon, the late nights started. At first it was once or twice a week. Then it became 3, 4 nights. Always the same excuse. Work's busy. We're behind on a project. I'll be home late. I wanted to believe her. I really did. But deep down, that Philly instinct inside me whispered that something wasn't right. The way she'd look away when I asked questions, the way her phone was always glued to her hand, screen turned down, notifications silenced. I'd been around long enough to know what that meant. One night, I drove down to her office just to surprise her. I figured maybe I was being paranoid. Maybe she really was working late. But when I got there, her car wasn't in the lot. Her office was dark. And that was the night I knew, without a shadow of a doubt, that my wife was lying to me. It didn't take long before I found out who the other man was. His name was Rodney, her boss. A guy who thought his money and his position made him untouchable. I wanted to storm into that office and break his jaw the second I found out. But I didn't. I played it cool. I kept it bottled up. For the sake of my kids, I told myself I'd figure out a way to save my marriage. But the more I tried, the worse it got. Marcy became distant, cold. She barely looked at me when we were in the same room. The kids felt the tension, too. My son stopped asking me to play catch. My daughter barely spoke at dinner. It was like our whole family was slowly collapsing in on itself. Then came the company Christmas party. That night is burned into my memory like a scar I can never erase. I didn't even want to go, but Marcy insisted. "It'll look bad if I don't show up with my husband," she said. So I put on a suit, forced a smile, and walked into that room with her. I told myself I'd play the part of the good husband, keep my cool, and get through the night. But the second I walked in, I saw it, the way Rodney looked at her, the way she lit up when she looked back at him. They thought they were being subtle, but everyone in that room could see it. I grabbed a drink, tried to calm myself down, but it only got worse. At one point, I walked past an office door and caught them inside. Too close, too familiar. Her hand on his arm, his lips way too close to hers. That was it. I snapped. I don't even remember crossing the room. One moment, I was outside the door. The next, I had Rodney pinned against the wall, my fist driving into his smug face. People were screaming, pulling me off him. but I didn't care. Years of betrayal, humiliation, and anger poured out of me in that one moment. Marcy was crying, begging me to stop. But I couldn't even look at her. All I saw was red. Curious what happens next? Hit like, subscribe, and keep watching. Trust me, you don't want to miss this part. That night ended any chance of saving our marriage. When we got home, she packed a bag and left, took the kids with her. Said she couldn't live like this anymore. Said I had ruined everything. But she had it backwards. She ruined everything. She threw away our life, our family, for a man who didn't give a damn about her. After she left, I spiraled. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. The house felt empty, like a tomb. The only thing that kept me going was the little stash of money I had tucked away. Cash I'd been saving for years, just in case life threw me a curveball. And believe me, this was one hell of a curveball. That's when I called my old friend S. S wasn't the kind of guy you called unless you really needed something. He had connections, resources, people who owed him favors. I told him everything, laid it all out. The affair, the fight, the mess my life had become. He didn't judge me. He just listened. And then he said, "Tony, you need to disappear for a while. Clear your head. Start fresh." I didn't argue. I knew he was right. Within a few days, S had everything lined up. A place for me to stay, a way to keep a low profile. And then he sent Carla. Carla was his niece. Young, beautiful, and way out of my league. She was supposed to be there just to keep me company, make sure I didn't do anything stupid. But one night turned into two, and before long I found myself drawn to her. She was a breath of fresh air in a life that had turned toxic. With Carla, I felt alive again. Like maybe, just maybe, I still had a future. We ended up in Atlantic City. Bright lights, casinos, the smell of money and desperation in the air. It was the escape I didn't know I needed. We laughed, drank, gambled a little. For the first time in months, I wasn't thinking about Marcy or Rodney. I was just living. But life has a way of reminding you that you can't run from your problems forever. It happened on a cold morning. Carla and I were sitting in a diner, sipping coffee, when two men walked in. Detectives. I knew it the second I saw them. They scanned the room, their eyes locking on me like a hawk spotting prey. "Tony Randazzo?" one of them asked. My stomach dropped. Rodney was gone, vanished. Nobody had seen him in days, and guess who was at the top of the suspect list? Me, the angry husband who beat him down in front of half the company. The guy with the motive, the rage, and the history. I tried to explain. Tried to tell them I hadn't seen Rodney since that night. But I could see it in their eyes. They didn't believe me. Suddenly, my fresh start felt like quicksand, pulling me deeper into a hole I couldn't climb out of. And as I sat there, Carla staring at me with wide eyes, I realized something that chilled me to the bone. This wasn't just about Marcy anymore. This was bigger. Rodney hadn't just disappeared. He had been erased. And whether I liked it or not, I was about to be dragged into a storm that would either clear my name or destroy me forever. Honestly, this story hits hard because it's about more than just betrayal or heartbreak. It's about the messy reality of life and how quickly everything can unravel. Tony's journey shows how even the toughest people can get caught in situations way bigger than themselves, and how sometimes you just have to face the fallout, no matter how painful it is. It's raw, real, and a reminder that trust, once broken, changes everything. But there's also a flicker of hope in moments like Tony's escape with Carla. Proof that even when life knocks you down, you can find a way to keep moving forward. If you found Tony's story gripping, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. What would you do if you were in his shoes? I'd love to hear your take. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more stories that dig deep into life's toughest moments.